Hi, this is Richie DeMarco.
And Denise Butchko. We're here with Constructing Your Brand. And today's question relates to blogging and to blog or not to blog. What I've noticed lately is that in conversations that are a little more in depth about a company and their marketing, the the person will say, "And I'm going to start blogging." Okay, that's terrific. Why you doing that? Do you feel like you need to do that? Somebody told you you should do that? Um, so we're going to share some pros and cons of blogging and what should go into if you're going to blog or not blog. Richie, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, yeah, it is a long-term commitment. I actually haven't put a new post on my blog in about 2 weeks, and I'm
You're
twitching
twitching.
about it. Yeah, I'm
Twitching.
totally twitching about it. I've got one that's three
Good.
quarters of the way done, but yeah, it bothers me. I mean, there's a lot involved, and it's not even so much. You don't have to be, you don't have to write well. I was going to say write good, but you don't have to write well. Um, you really don't. I
Oh,
mean, I
I kind of
write.
think you do.
Well,
I do.
no, I write the way I speak. I make it
That's
very,
fine.
yeah, so it's very easy to read. I'm not writing the next great American novel. These aren't 5,000 word posts. Um, but there's a lot involved. It's, you got to come up with a header image or a picture. Are you including any other photos? Where are you getting the photos from? Do you have to, do you have to give credentials back to the photographer? Little things that you never would think of. How are you tagging it? What category does it fall in? What does that even mean? So there is some
That was my next
research.
question. What do you mean
Yeah,
tagging?
right. So there is research involved with that when you start a blog. And so if you have a site and you're going to tag it onto your site, I think it's great. I think it's great for you to do, great for your SEO. But this is a long-term strategy, and you're going to be talking to yourself for quite a while.
Well, for sure, you're going to be talking to yourself for quite a while. So I think that is a really valid point that people go, "Oh, I'm not getting any comments." No kidding. How many comments have you put on a blog? And so ask yourself that question. You also might want to ask yourself how many blogs you read, what blogs, if you read any, do you like? How are you going to come up with this content? So I think that, do you have a strategy? Have you come up with a list of at least 12 topics that you think you can write about? And this is not, a blog does not equal me, I'm selling this. Blog does not equal press release. And blog does not equal like a piece of crap long writing that you took from some stat sheet. I was reading one for about a vendor at Neocon last night, and it's terribly written. And the only merit that it got is that it's from the state I was born in. So they have a cool product. But really, I kind of want to tell them they need to get a different writer. So don't be so totally intimidated by that, but you need to put some thought into it before you just say, "Hey, I'm going to write a blog," because nothing makes you look more of an idiot than your last post was from May 1st, 2012. Like, glad you're paying attention.
Right.
That blogging thing going for you,
And how many of those social media experts do we see with posts that are 6 months old?
for
That
sure.
is probably the number one pet peeve. Make sure if you don't know how to take the date off of your blog, pay somebody whatever they want to take that date off of your blog, because it makes you look ridiculous when your blog is 6 months old and you're calling yourself an expert. So,
Yeah, because you're not
um,
paying attention to it. And I would say that what has worked very well for me, and nobody was saying to do this, but I just figured I'm going to go where the eyeballs are. So I do guest posts in a lot, in different places, because at least then somebody's reading my stuff
no, that's a good point.
versus here I am, crickets in the field, chirp chirp.
That's a good point. Guest posting is a great way to just put your toe in the water and see if you like it. Coming up with, I think you're being easy on them, Denise. 12 topics. If you're doing that once a week, that's barely 3 months. I think you should be
Mm-hmm.
able to come up with 25 topics.
Okay.
And frequency. What is your plan? How often are you going to write? Um, are you going to use to capture email addresses? There's a ton of questions. when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
What you know, the one thing that I will say, if you are starting a blog, you own a kitchen company or a closet company, I would keep track of all of those questions that you're asked throughout the week. All those questions your designers come back to you with, those are all potential blog posts. And they're very non-salesy. They could be very short. Simple questions that what's the difference between a hanging closet and a floor built system? What's the
Hmm.
difference between full extension slides and undermount slides? I don't know, whatever it is, but you can come up with a lot of topics like that, and it only adds value to your site.
Exactly. So, and then think of how you're going to repurpose that material. So, is it the kind of thing that you can put into an email marketing piece? Is it something you could share on other platforms? Could you, in the case like the two topics you just described, those could be training material, quite frankly. You could have your new designer, read and quote all those topics because they need to know all that information.
That's right, and bringing the designers into it. I mean, you could have a couple of them, write a couple hundred words a month or something. And I know the designers are going to pout and stomp their feet, but if you have a team of designers, why can't a couple of them add a couple hundred words a month? And
No, I totally agree. I'm all about that. I think integrating it into the culture of the organization, and also that is part of business development. So this isn't, oh yeah, we just love, I mean, writing in my journal is very different than creating my blog. So getting all the people involved in as many ways as you can is, I think that's key.
yeah, and you could sell it to the designer. It ultimately helps them build their brand. So
Yep.
they're not only helping the client, they're not only helping the company, they're helping themselves. They take their brand with them. So I think that you could sell that to them.
I agree. Totally.
So I guess on to blog or not to blog, we say blog, but tread carefully.
Yeah, don't just decide you're going to do it like you bought a pair of pink shoes. Well, that's fine. They don't take up that much space in your closet, and then you're going to get rid of them. I mean, that's not a good analogy, but give it some thought and put some strategy behind it. And now then here's a plug, but this is the kind of thing that we actually work with companies on. We're not going to, write your blog for you necessarily, but we take you through those steps so that you think about something before you actually make a commitment to it. What platforms are you on? Which way are you approaching something? What is your strategy? How are you going to leverage the resources you have? How are you going to get new ones? How are you going to handle all that new business you get?
How are you going to respond to all those comments?
All those comments. Which, by the way, feel free to leave us a comment or ask us a question because we would love that.
Absolutely, absolutely, that'd be great. So, keep the questions coming, please. We love answering them. Head over to constructingyourbrand.com, and you can submit a question, find all the way we work with some of our clients, and leave a comment.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye.